After that last episode that tore the group apart like Anakin through a group of younglings, we decided to go with a bit of a lighter topic this week. TV shows we grew up with, specifically in the 70s. As you all are aware, on this podcast, we attempt to unite instead of divide. We've always had the intent of showing everyone that friends can disagree and debate, and still, at the end, be friends. But I'll get off my soapbox and let you get on to the show. This is The Men Are Talking. Hashtag Nobel Peace Prize for Larry with the number 4. Thank you for your vote. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Men Are Talking. I know you haven't heard last week's episode yet. Sorry about that. My air conditioner died, and I had to turn off the editing computer because in my office it is basically a space heater.
Sorry about that.
I promise to have not only this week's episode, but last week's episode out this week. So, this week, we are joined by a smaller crew than we've had recently, but the core, if you will. We're going to start off with, say hello, Bill.
Hello, Bill.
UBC.
Oh, hello.
And Ferg.
What up?
And Paul.
Hello.
And, of course, I'm Larry. So, this week, we are discussing our growing up as kids, watching television. So, we're going to be kind of concentrating on TV in the 70s. We're going to start out, we're going to go around talking about the 50s and 60s reruns that we watched, because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in the 70s we had 3 channels. There wasn't even a Fox yet.
Oh, we had UHF.
And forget about CW. We did have UHF, which is where we watched most of our reruns.
That's correct, sir.
And not only that, about 11 o'clock at night, TV went off the air. Mm-hmm. There was no TV in the middle of the night. Everyone just went to bed.
Crazy.
Yeah. You, if you were up late enough, which, like I said, was like 11, you get to see the Star Spangled Banner and little...
Then a broadcast signal.
Yeah, exactly. And color bars for until 6 a.m. When then you'd get to see the Star Spangled Banner, followed by some sort of news program. There was no 4 in the morning. So let's go ahead and we're just going to go around for this one. We're going to start off with Bill, and let's say you got 5-ish minutes to talk about some reruns.
Okay. So as a kid young kid in the early 70s, we didn't have child labor laws. And
after you got done working in the coal mine
going down
in West Virginia.
Now I had a paper route starting in the 3rd grade. It wasn't my paper route. I helped a friend who was athlete. And,
so he gave you 15% of what he made, and you did all the work?
Dude.
I bet he owns a company now and is doing well.
I bought my own shit, even back then.
I just make my own.
I didn't have to get in the van for the big candy bars.
Cheese sandwiches.
You don't need them. But so if it was a day that I wasn't delivering papers, because I had an afternoon paper route, I'm not getting up that early.
Right.
for $5 a week.
Yeah, still.
Doing 2 papers a day.
Yeah. Back when the news mattered, before the intranets. So anyway, there were 3 that come to mind from reruns that I would rush home to watch, and well, there's more, but they told us to limit it to 3, and 3 that I looked forward to seeing.
By they, he means me.
I looked forward to seeing one was The Addams Family, which was a 60s show.
Yep.
And I loved any episode with Cousin It. Was my favorite character on The Addams Family. And Cousin It wasn't always on the show.
Right. But I will mark that one off of my list. Now I have to come up with another one.
Secondly, would have been the original Mission Impossible that started in the 60s.
Yep.
And just watching that show and the tape self-destructing, should you choose to... What was the guy's name? What was his character?
Phelps.
Phelps. Phelps?
Yeah.
His last
Phelps.
name. Yep.
Yeah. And, it was just, some of the crazy things that they did. And
all the masks.
Yeah, the masks. But I remember this one guy, like Idi Amin type guy, and they tricked him into thinking this ballpoint pen was a bomb, and if he took his finger off the top of it, it would explode. And they ended up leaving and getting on their jet and flying home to get their next assignment. And the cameras, are showing this international trade conference or peace summit, and the guy's still standing there like 2 days later with his finger on the top of the ballpoint pen. And I remember that. And then the third one, and I know some of the ones that you guys are going to say, and they're more along the lines of the old westerns. And that wasn't really my forte. Like them now more than I did then. Which is kind of funny with this one because it had a Western name, but it was the Wild Wild West.
Oh.
And
now you gotta take that one off my list too.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn it, Robert Conrad.
Robert Conrad and whoever played Artemis Gordon. I don't.
The guy who looks like DeForest Kelly.
Yeah. His slower brother. But they were Secret Service men for President.
Wasn't it McKinley?
I believe so. But they had a train and they rode on the train and they were Secret Service men back in the old Wild West. This is before.
No, it was Grant. It was Grant.
Grant.
Yeah, it was right after the Civil War.
The actor was Ross Martin.
Thank you, Ross Martin. I saw him in it. Anyway, I don't want to mention any other shows.
He's excellent.
Because people are going to mention them. But this was well before Will Smith ruined that show with that. That was a horrible.
I don't blame Will. I blame.
I will tell you. I will tell you. You know who made that movie?
Who? J.J. Abrams?
Kenneth Branagh.
Oh well, Kenneth, don't lay a turd like that.
Are you sure?
The guy who is killing it with Agatha Christie movies.
Yeah, that's fine. He got better. I didn't do that good in first grade either. But those would be the 3 that come to. I mean, there's a bunch more. That
I know some. Paul don't, and he's a doctor.
But I would rush home. But I mean, I remember rushing home so that you could get home in time for those shows and Batman. And got a 4th one in. All right.
It actually wasn't. It was Barry Sonnenfeld who directed it.
Oh, really?
And Jim Thomas, John Thomas, and S.S. Wilson wrote it.
John Thomas?
Jim, yes.
That's the name of my penis.
Wait,
I thought
his name was my name.
I thought it was John Thompson, but that's fine.
No, it's John Thomas.
But Kenneth Branagh did play Arliss Lovelace, which is kind of a bummer because I loved that character. And Branagh's great, but Lovelace was just impeccable, and he was a dwarf.
Oh,
Is that why you
in the show.
So inspired by him.
Well, thank you very much. Yes,
Fall
we
short.
saw eye to eye on lots of things.
All right. So UPC.
Okay, so in the 70s, watching first run shows, those were almost exclusively nighttime shows. I wasn't watching reruns.
Yeah. We're talking about reruns.
Right, so, but the shows from the 70s, 60s, and 50s, I would watch after school in the 80s. But my big ones were Sanford and Son.
Yes.
I
That was
Oh,
the 70s show.
Yeah, but he's young.
Yeah.
It was a rerun when he saw it.
Yeah, I Dream of Jeannie. There were so many in a row you'd watch. It would be like the Monkees, Munsters, Addams Family, blah blah blah.
All of that counts.
And it would just be all in a row until, your parents.
Good, you just named a bunch of shows that count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we're not talking about watching first run.
No.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
That
Well,
comes after this.
Yeah. So those are the shows. Particularly later on, I became an aficionado of Norman Lear projects. My favorite being Fernwood Tonight. But that was thanks to the development of Nick at Night and TV Land in the
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
You got to see those things.
Yeah.
So, that's it
That's
for
it. That's
All
what
right.
he's got. Okay.
my
Ferg?
reruns.
All right. Well, again, TV went past 11. At least where I grew up in New Jersey, just
On
outside New York
UH,
City.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it went to 12. Because you were in.
It went to 3
You were
o'clock.
in the Eastern time zone.
We went to 3 o'clock.
Are
Actually,
you talking about in UHF?
no, actually, Johnny
UHF
Carson
went
was from
higher.
11:30 to 1.
Yep. So
In the Eastern time
Yeah.
zone.
yeah. So well, anyway, so I actually, during the summers and stuff, and after school, I'd stay up late, and so I would watch most of those reruns late at night, where I'd watch stuff like, I Love Lucy, The Twilight Zone,
God.
the Abbott and Costello show,
Oh.
which
That one wasn't on my list, but all three of mine have now been said, so I have to come up with more.
There's plenty.
but yeah, but I'd
Oh,
watch.
I got more.
I'd watch, my older brother and I would stay up and watch those and, hang out, sneak down to the kitchen, grab popsicles, and like that. Mom knew we did because she's like, why is there messy everywhere? But
Right, but you're literally drinking, or you're literally eating Kool-Aid,
Right.
and acting like it's ice cream, and
Right.
it's like,
Yeah, so
you got 10 calories.
right. But it would help us stay up later. 'Cause,
Oh yeah, but that you don't have any children, but
No.
just so you know, that's why popsicles are always when they go, "Can I have a popsicle?" You're like, "Look, fine, you can have a popsicle," and they think they won something, and it's like they're getting like some frozen Kool-Aid.
But
Go
yeah,
for
like,
it.
those were the shows that I would actually stay up to watch. I mean, a lot of those other shows you've already mentioned. Yeah, I watched those as well.
Right.
Because
Of course, Batman.
Well, duh. I mean,
Yeah.
How else would you find how to use shark repellent?
Also, how else would you find that you need $1 billion? And I would really like for every single thing I try to set up to stop killing it. Why? Why can't this man have $1 billion?
Really, come on.
It seems so wrong
I
not to give you $1 billion.
know. Like,
Well, I mean, I'm sure he would give each one of us $1 million,
No, he would give. Yes, actually, that was the agreement.
and I'd be okay
We would each
with
get
that.
$1 million.
yes.
I wouldn't be starting work Monday. I can guarantee
Oh, I think we would all, except for Dr. Paul, the rest of us would retire.
I would be on immediate sabbatical.
Right, but you wouldn't retire.
No, you're right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
The rest of us would retire.
Yeah, I'd work the system
You would go on
till they made me
sabbatical.
ready.
I
That's
would-
something you can do, which is fucking
It
stupid.
is ridiculous.
Larry, I would just stay in between contracts.
Yeah. Yeah. I would actually probably stay at my job. I really like my new job.
Plus, it wouldn't hurt my Achilles.
That's a good point. Wow.
Sorry, Aaron. All right.
All right.
So I guess we're moving on to Paul. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so I had a few, and Bill knocked a few out of the park that I had concur with. The Wild Wild West and Mission Impossible, and then my brother lived for him. But ones that haven't been mentioned, I really liked Bonanza, and really the reruns of Bonanza, because Bonanza ran till I think the early 70s, and the later ones just weren't as good.
No.
Well, and
Hostile.
yeah. Well, and after a couple hundred episodes, you start running out of ideas. But I liked Bonanza a lot. We watched lots of reruns of The Little Rascals.
Was Bonanza similar to Ponderosa in that it was cafeteria style?
It was. They made everybody line up. Yeah, it was. It's completely. It was no. Neither one of them were any Western sizzlers.
What was the name of the cook?
Oh damn! I know this.
1, 2,
Chin?
3.
Chang?
Hop Sing.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Dang it! Come
That's
on.
great.
Thought you said you were a fan.
Well, apparently not.
I call
Obviously-
bullshit.
Obviously, I'm not taking you to Nebraska with me for Bonanza Con.
Have any of you ever?
Is that an actual thing?
No.
Okay. I was like, really?
It is. If
Well,
you get $1 billion, it will be.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I didn't Google it,
Which is
so
smart.
maybe.
All right. Well, since we're getting all personal, have any of you ever visited the Ponderosa Ranch?
No.
Well, I have.
Well, there's one in Pahrump, Nevada, but I don't think it's the same type of ranch.
No, that's
You're right.
the Bunny Ranch.
It's the different one.
Have any of you ever met Roy Rogers?
No.
No,
Ah,
but I
suck
have
it.
eaten. But I have eaten his chicken.
I have.
No, that's
eaten-
Kenny Rogers.
No, this is Roy
Did
Rogers.
both the Rogerses have
Yeah,
chicken?
yeah.
No, Roy Rogers was a roast beef place.
Oh, they had roasters.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
have eaten
Sorry.
his sandwiches under the heat of a tanning bed light on the interstate outside of Boston and New York.
Dale would
And
not
Denver.
have approved of any of that, I don't think.
No,
That
neither
sounds
would
a
Trigger.
little
No,
untoward.
Definitely Trigger. He
Yeah.
would know.
What do
No.
you think's in the sandwiches?
So, oh my gosh.
All right, so I guess it's my turn.
Well, I get. Did I say 3? I did. Okay.
You
never mind.
did.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
You're
so,
a good counter.
Well, I guess one of those is now going to have to be Roy Rogers for some reason because you mentioned something. But yeah, I actually lived in Victorville, California, which is where Roy and Dale lived, right outside of Victorville, and that's actually where the Roy Rogers Museum is, and complete with stuffed Trigger.
And Roy. That's the amazing thing. Is
Well, maybe now.
it's Roy standing right next to
He was still alive when I lived
He's
there.
mounted on top.
Because I'm old.
He was
Sorry.
stuffing Dale.
I think they move him around just to release the crowd.
There was
But mine, other than what has been mentioned, because all of you guys have killed it, by the way. All of those were shows that, yeah.
Well, we all
I
grew up
would-
watching.
Yeah,
mean,
I would rush home. I would, or stay up late or whatever to watch. And I will say, going back to what we said earlier, I would watch them on UHF. I did.
Right.
Great movie, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, you should. Weird Al is amazing.
Indeed.
We should get Weird Al on the show.
We should. I'll have our people reach out to his people.
Okay.
Paul, get on that.
I'll get rid of
So, for me, I'm going to go back to the shows that my dad and I would actually watch on weekends. He would go, come on, boy, let's watch something. And that would be one of the absolute greatest westerns ever that most people have never watched. which is called Have Gun Will Travel.
Absolutely.
Oh yes.
Holy crap, so good.
That was Boone, right?
That was.
Who?
I'm trying to remember.
Was it Richard?
Richard Boone.
Yeah.
Was not Daniel.
I think Richard Boone played Houston
Paladin. Oh.
in the Alamo movie, right?
Yes.
Sam Houston.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but in
Wasn't there
in
a
Have Gun Will Travel, he was Paladin.
Daniel Boone is best known for the poem about Daniel Boone being a man,
Correct.
a big man.
Yeah. Something about bears.
Yeah.
Another one.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You're gonna find out real quick that my dad is the reason I love westerns. Another one was The Rifleman,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
friggin' amazing show.
Chuck Connors.
And then, as the Star Wars guy, I find it very weird that I'm going to be the one saying this one, but Star Trek.
I was leaving it for you. I was leaving it for you.
My mom, on Saturday, when Star Trek reruns came on, that's where the TV went. That was, that was her time. And we all sat around and watched Star Trek.
As you should.
Now, just because when you guys hear last week's, you'll know I'm the Star Wars guy. Star Wars wasn't out yet. So.
This is not a contradiction.
Yeah. But so, yeah, those are mine. And in case you're wondering, yeah, there's going to be more Westerns when we get to the next round, which we're about to start. So we're going to cut to Bill on actual shows from the 70s.
If you limit me to 3, I'm going home.
I
am home.
Done!
And scene.
And
Holy
3.
crap. Last night,
You're not
I never
limited
saw
to
that
3.
yeah,
You're
but
just limited
we
to
can
like
go
10
around
minutes.
a few times. Yeah, I'm not going to go 10 minutes at once.
I'm just saying,
I've
you can't.
never
That's
talked
what
that
Heidi
long.
said.
I'm just saying. Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
That was a hanging curveball.
Yeah. Just so you know, Bill.
That's what Heidi said.
Just so you know, Bill. We're not editing that.
No, Heidi interrupts. Even when she's not here, she interrupts. Man, last night when I think Paul and I came up with this idea for TV shows, and I pitched to Larry, hey, let's do each decade favorite, best worst, not favorite, but best worst, our opinion. 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 10s, 20s. And Larry said, there's no way. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Do
you know these people?
Yeah. 4 hours in. 4 hours later, it's like, well, I'm going to call in sick for my first day on the job.
Yeah. I mean, we could do it. It would be cut into 5 shows.
Yeah, and we are.
And it would be a nightmare for
We
you.
are going to do later decades.
We are.
At a later time.
We will revisit this.
But last night, and I realized the 50s, who was saying this tonight, the 50s were the golden age of, the 50s was the golden age of TV.
Well, that's when it was invented.
Right. But the 70s, holy crap. I just opened up my phone, went best TV shows of the 70s, and there were 150. Now there were some stinkers.
Right.
Sure.
And there are so many that we left out from the 50s and 60s.
Right.
That's
why I limited us to 3.
Yeah, and that I do have to do this because every episode that something like this comes up, Doctor Who never gets mentioned.
Right.
And Doctor Who started in 1963.
But did you watch it in the 70s?
I watched it in the 70s.
Okay.
Yes. That was
But were you watching Tom Baker?
Yes.
than it was in the 70s. It wasn't a 60s or 50s rerun.
Okay. Fair
Ah!
enough. So when I was homesick from school, like if I faked my mom into, letting me stay home, I would get the opportunity to bring the TV into my room, and I would watch, Sesame Street, The Electric Company, and Tom Baker, Doctor Who. Those were the shows that I watched during the day. Well, and my shows.
Right. Yeah. Those are your stories.
My story. But we went through a list last night, and it was just freaking amazing the number of shows that we've forgotten. We're like, holy crap. I said this line, and those, so Larry, you tell me what show I'm thinking. And this was not one of my favorites, but I remember it because it was so different, and the actors that played in it. And I'm just going to say one line and see if you can tell me the name of this TV show.
Challenge accepted.
Thank you very much.
Nope.
Taxi.
Oh, God.
Vodka.
Oh, God, yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Vodka.
Oh, God. Yeah, you did a terrible job.
Yeah, I know. My God. Judd Hirsch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Tony Danza.
Tony Danza. Hold me closer,
what was
Tony
her-
Danza.
I
I can't think of her name.
Mary Lou
Hatter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I think of the 70s, wait, do we need to take
My,
a little...
my first redhead crush.
I
do
understand.
we need to take a little breather here?
For what?
Hervé Village.
Oh, jeez.
We're going to sterilize that.
Wow. Oh,
But,
and Christopher Lloyd, remember, played.
Oh, yeah.
What do they call him? Father.
Was he on Taxi?
Yes.
Oh.
He played that.
So getting into the shows that let's look.
Sorry.
The Night Stalker
Oh my
is
God.
the reason why I was into my late 40s before I got over my fear of the dark.
You're over it?
Kind of. I mean, really, Carl Kolchak, sewing a mummy's lips shut
God, so
with
good.
salt in the back of a Volkswagen in a junkyard. Don't go in there! Why would you do that?
It's his job.
The vampire hand coming up out of the ground and hitting the flight attendant whose tire went flat outside of O'Hare. That show scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I hid under the coffee table behind a couch and watched it with my parents at night in the dark. But God, and I don't want to mention them all, so I'm just going to mention a few of mine. That, and this comedy, not stupid kid comedy like,
Yeah, adult comedy, because, we were
mature.
We were mature
Look,
for our
I was
age.
just happy when HBO came out and I was like, that could be a boob, could be an elbow. I'm going with boob.
That's
it
80s.
was scrambled. Yeah. But
On TV.
comedies, Bob Newhart.
Bob
Love
Newhart
the
was
Bob
hilarious.
The original.
Bob
I like
Newhart
the second one.
Oh, yeah, Newhart was great,
But,
too.
but the Bob Newhart
Then he had the
show,
Bob show in the
The,
90s.
the ending of Newhart was perfect.
Oh, with Patrick Duffy?
No. The ending of Newhart was Bob Newhart waking up in bed with his wife from Newhart.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all a dream about him owning a bed and breakfast.
Oh, I was thinking. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Family Guy.
Yeah.
But one of my favorites that I loved watching, and part of it's just because the guy reminds me of my dad, is Quincy Me. Quincy M.
God, I loved
Yeah.
Quincy.
Jack Klugman
Yeah.
from The Odd Couple,
Yeah.
but Quincy M.E. He was just.
Quincy was awesome.
He had my dad has his nose
Yeah,
and his mannerisms,
Yep.
and I loved Quincy.
just different religions.
Yeah.
Quincy's a Presbyterian.
The dead in Christ shall rise first. So The sci-fi one, as much as there is a really hot chick that I'd like to bring up, I'll leave it for someone else or another round, would be the Hulk. Bill Bixby.
Oh.
Walking down that street with the backpack, turning, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Now, Stewie did it better.
Yeah.
To be honest, Stewie did it better.
Speaking
But
of
Lou
his family guy.
Ferrigno,
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno and
if you
Bill
ever have the
Bixby.
chance to meet him, meet
Bill
him.
Bixby did The Magician too, right?
And my favorite Martian.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite Martian sucked ass.
Oh my God.
Sorry, just personal opinion. But it did. It really did. I didn't like that little normally guy that played the Martian. I don't like him.
It's Mr. Hand.
Yeah, whatever.
Look, Mr. Hand.
Exactly. And I just didn't like him. But yeah, I mean, Quincy, and then one of my favorites, I think the guy in everything he's been stellar. He's just seems like, maybe he's not, I just see him on TV, we don't hang out anymore. But the Rockford Files.
God damn it!
Oh, Jim Garner.
Seriously.
James Garner is just
The best TV theme
the
ever.
Henry
I think.
Cavill of the 70s.
No, that was a great TV theme, and
Maverick also.
him and his Camaro fucking just
Right.
sliding into
I remember
everything.
Calling, you remember
Maverick.
back in the 70s?
It was a brown Camaro. It wasn't even like cool.
Remember back in the 70s where you call into the radio show and ask them to play a song?
Yes.
They're like, hey, this is... And we asked them, I called him one time, it was like a
Late for the radio
13-year-old.
DJ.
And I asked them to play the Rockford Files theme, and the guy was like, get back on the short bus. And,
It's
I
a
mean, but that's what I
fantastic.
asked. I can't even think of it right now, how it goes. But I mean, it was. Oh yeah, yeah. But you know,
But it's got
Those-
multiple
Oh, great.
parts.
Now
It's
we're going to
great.
get a
Sorry.
copyright
That
fucking...
breaks into like this.
Yeah,
No, this is fair
we,
use.
we
Aaron
missed
Copeland
enough
style.
notes. To
This
where,
is fair use. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we missed enough notes.
Yeah,
But
try-
those three, I enjoyed them very much. Four, Night Stalker, Hulk, Quincy and me, and Rockford Files, and there are and Newhart, so 5 there. So I will end my, like I said, I can't go 10 minutes.
Yeah, you did.
So there.
Yeah, you did.
And-
You totally pulled it off.
But it was very entertaining.
well, Heidi used to call me the 12-minute man.
No, she didn't.
Used to. All right.
Separated by 24
All right,
hours.
UPC. It's your turn.
So, first run television in the 70s was mostly at night. I did not watch TV during the day because I would come home from school and just play outside or ride
Right.
bikes or whatever.
Right,
But
yeah.
at night,
Yeah, you didn't come in until the streetlights came on.
right. So at night it was going to
From
be
the hose.
Chips, Buck Rogers,
Oh, really?
and Sanford and Son, and Hee Haw. Now keep in mind, these are not necessarily my choices. These are
Hee-Haw
the
was
choices
awesome.
of the adults in the house who have control of the remote control, right?
I was the remote control.
So those were the
We all
live-
were. Hey, boy,
Can't hide money.
that week's episode, as it aired, right?
quit turning up so fast.
I went past the 3rd channel, damn it.
After the local news, at 10 or whatever, my parents did not watch the late night talk shows like Johnny Carson or anything. They would go to bed or something. But so then I would get the TV. So I would watch things like Three Stooges.
Right?
Um,
Well, those are reruns.
yeah. Well, there isn't any first run at 10:30 at night.
Well, but we're
Back
doing
then.
first runs right now.
Okay.
Stick to the
So-
topic.
Weekends. There's the other thing. You had your Saturday evening programming.
That counts.
That was stuff like, Magnum P.I. I believe was a Saturday
79.
night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, what else was on? Oh well, Hee Haw was a weekend program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday was typically things like 60 Minutes and stuff like that. Oh my God, The Gong Show.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god.
I forgot about The Gong Show.
And-
Chuck Ferris.
and
The unknown comic.
just so younger people listening in understand how difficult this is, in the 70s, we didn't have HBO. We didn't have, movie channels and stuff.
Didn't have the internet.
ABC and NBC and CBS would show movies on Friday and Saturday night.
Yep.
And that's what it was.
2-hour specials and.
Well, no, but actual movies.
Yeah.
That were in the theater 3 years ago.
Right.
Or miniseries.
Yep.
Lonesome Dove.
Roots.
Roots.
Winds of War.
What was the
War and Remembrance.
The Herman Wouk.
Yeah, what was the anyway. Yes.
North and South. Things like that.
Thornbirds.
Thornbirds, that was the one I
There
was
we
thinking
go.
of.
Rich Man, Poor Man.
Yeah. Real quick, speaking of the Sunday night movies. One,
No, that was Disney. It was Sunday night.
Yeah, okay, but Sunday night was Disney, and I don't know if many of our listeners remember the debacle. Who was it? The Jets and the Raiders?
It was Heidi.
The
that's
Heidi,
for sure.
yes.
And they
Yeah.
called
Heidi
the Heidi
interrupted.
game
Yeah.
because the
Heidi
game
interrupted.
was,
Yes.
the game was over. 2-score game with a couple minutes left in the game, and they cut from the NFL to Heidi on Disney.
They used to call it
movie.
the Wonderful World of
Wonderful
Disney.
World of
yeah.
Disney. And I hated going to church on Sunday night because we didn't get to see the Wonderful World of Disney.
Right?
But they cut from that game.
Fuck Jesus.
Jeez. Wow.
Fuck Heidi, is what the NFL said. And they cut from that game
Hey,
to the movie Heidi.
don't bother. I'm not editing it out.
Yeah, because we all know what tomorrow is. September 15th.
Ides of September.
So why would you say... Anyway. They cut from... Yeah, you can edit that too. They cut from this game to the movie on Disney, and whoever it was, I think the Jets stormed back and won in dramatic fashion.
Yeah.
And nobody got to see
Which
Unless
is-
you were
which
at
is
the
why-
game.
unless you were at the game.
Which is why they never cut a game early anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, UPC.
Oh, there was you mentioned
You had
some
one more?
shitty stuff. Here's a shitty one. My Mother the Car.
Oh,
God.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. But are you
I
good?
think I'm done for that.
All right. Ferg?
All right. Shows I watched growing up in the 70s. We've already
That are
discussed.
from the 70s.
Right. We've already discussed a few of them. So
Yeah, that's
you know,
the
and
problem with not
obviously,
going
like
first.
you know, I mean, I'm like, well, I'm a little younger than most of y'all. You know, UPC being, you know, the youngest here.
Right.
But you know, but so yeah,
Yeah, I went to school with your older brother.
right. So you know, so in the 70s, yeah, I don't know, I watched pretty much whatever my parents had on because that's all
Right.
they could.
They were in control.
So
Right.
whatever was terrible television in the
Right.
70s.
Yes, and so I've blocked a lot of that out.
Oh, you just triggered me. I forgot my mom loved the Love Boat.
Oh, you're triggered.
The
Love Boat was
and
great.
Fantasy Island. My mom loved those shows.
Fantasy Island was 80s.
But
I'm
you
pretty
know,
sure.
But I would have to say, like, you know, like I did watch like Battlestar Galactica. You
Damn
know,
it!
I mean, you know, and you know, UPC mentioned Buck Rogers.
Oh,
Hey,
Aaron Gray.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Gray. So talking about the hot chick.
Yeah.
Aaron Gray.
No,
You
no,
know.
yeah, I already marked that one off my list.
Yeah. So I mean, it's yeah. Then I probably, you know, I can't remember exactly. Like was different strokes of 70s or 80s because like you said, I was a little younger, so I watched that.
I want to say it started in 78 or 79.
But you know, I watched that growing up, and you know, and then of course, God, like my freaking mom, love you, mom.
Yeah, it started in 78.
But like you know, would watch like Sonny and Cher.
Mm-hmm.
and the Osmonds.
I was gonna top you.
And-
Damn it!
Yeah.
Now that one's off my list too.
And-
I kind
So-
of liked it because I had a crush on Marie Osmond.
so did Donnie.
Wow.
But yeah, so like that was stuff like
Dr. Paul, we need to hurry up with that LLC. I'm saying.
Well, yeah, that was the stuff I grew up watching because, like, that's what was on, and but didn't necessarily like all of it. I mean, like, the Buck Rogers, the Battlestar Galactica, yeah,
Right,
those were
of
great,
course.
but
They were amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, baby.
right.
Yeah. No, totally.
All right.
Wow.
But that's stuff I grew up watching.
All right. Well, Jenny wants a pet.
Oh, hey, Jenny.
Jenny's here, yay.
All right. So we're going to move on to Dr. Paul.
Well, there's you all have mentioned quite a few great ones. We had it was a special evening on Wednesdays where my mom was great at creating these things that were pretty straightforward and no frills, but seemed awesome. So on Wednesday nights, there was Vegas and Charlie's Angels, and something right before Charlie's Angels, and I'm forgetting what it was. But on Wednesday nights, she would lay a sheet on the ground, and we could sleep in front of the TV, and we thought that was so cool. And I thought it was great. And we would always make ice cream sodas. Oh my God!
You mean floats?
Floats, yes, but she called them ice cream sodas. But so it was Charlie's Angels and
She
Vegas.
couldn't pronounce float.
Well, that's not what she called it. It's kind of like being from Wisconsin, calling everything pap or something, I think. Anyway, so I'm surprised you guys didn't mention Vegas or that.
When we get the camera and
Yes.
for YouTube, you guys will know what that look was.
Yeah. And
So, yes,
okay, but so I have to ask.
Yes.
You mentioned Charlie's Angels.
yes.
Who's your favorite angel?
Cheryl lad.
Cheryl Teague.
Kate Jackson.
Cheryl Teague wasn't a Charlie's Angels. You made Farrah Fawcett.
Cheryl Lab is the first season.
I'm seeing. We're gonna get our research team right on this.
I'm a Jacqueline Smith guy.
I totally I
Kate
totally
Jackson's
get
best.
it.
Oh.
Okay, well there we go. That works out for me. But I really did like Fantasy Island.
Well, if she wasn't on it, then it was Farrah Fawcett.
But the other, yes, it was Farrah Fawcett. But the other ones that I really liked the $6 Million Man. I really like Starsky and Hutch and Beretta. And one that no one's mentioned, but you might remember, Martin Landau, who was an amazing actor. I can't remember the name of the show now.
It's the last one there.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's a good show. So I'm just going to leave that for you. So that was excellent. But those were fantastic shows. And one last one, because I had a huge crush on her. The show One Day at a Time featured a single mom and her two daughters.
Yep.
And the funny thing to me is that Mackenzie
Schneider.
Right, Schneider.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Phillips was supposed to be like the sexy, kind of loose, morally hot sister, and then there was the little sister Valerie Bertinelli.
Yeah.
And Valerie Bertinelli is just beautiful.
The
And
show-
Mackenzie
the
Phillips
show ran
not so
so
much.
long that
Right.
Valerie Bertinelli
She grew
grew
into
up.
it. Yeah, 100%.
Became the hot one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And married Eddie Van Halen.
But yeah, those were
And
those
then
were
he
all
died.
those were all good. Yeah, those were all good. Not as a direct result, but yes, he passed away.
Yeah.
Good
Do you
lord.
have
Cause and
proof?
effect.
I heard he was a zombie.
Do you have proof?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'll get on the proof the negative part, but you
All
go
right.
right ahead.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Let's get our research team on that.
We'll get our research team on
We need a
that.
fucking
But yeah,
intern.
but those are. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's our. So that's
we
mine.
do need an intern.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure
Applications.
I'm sure there's someone in college right now who needs some who needs some experience.
Something to do on Thursday night.
I could,
No, need some
I could-
experience they can
Okay.
put on a resume. We
I
can
could-
give them college credit.
There you go.
Larry,
We have a
I could
doctor
prop
here.
my mother-in-law up out here.
No. I'm
Send-
thinking someone
no,
who will
applicants
actually
should
help.
Send a photo of them as their favorite Charlie's Angel.
Okay, and by the way, who was the voice of Charlie on Charlie's Angels?
John Forsythe.
Correct. Well done.
All right. Oddly enough, yeah. All right. So it's my turn. Like I said, some of the stuff is kind of going to go back to the Western stuff. My number one, which was, again, a show that me and my dad always watched together, was Kung Fu.
Ah, yes.
Which was amazing show. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should. Story of a Shaolin monk who comes to America and travels from town to town righting the wrongs.
Wow.
Yeah. And then...
That was Keith Carradine, right?
No, it was Dave
Dave.
Carradine.
Terrible ending.
Yes, not very happy at all. So, my next one is one that I'm
The hanging, how that happened.
one that I'm really surprised that no one else mentioned. Soap.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
It was the vehicle that launched. Well, okay, 2 of the people in it were already stars. Everyone else became stars because of that show. I mean, we have Billy Crystal, thanks to Soap.
Yeah.
Robert Guillaume, thanks to Soap. Which takes me to my next one,
Yes.
which is Benson, which was a spinoff. Oddly enough, the butler from Soap got hired by the governor to become the chief of staff.
Yeah.
And then lieutenant governor later on in the
He
show.
did become lieutenant governor later on.
Best character though, Clayton.
I'm about to go into Renee Auberjonois.
Yep.
I was actually going to cut to which I'm doing now, by the way. I'm not like setting it up. I worked for our local Comic-Con, and one year he came to. It's called Pensacon. All right, fine. So one year he came to Pensacon, and I had a problem with Lita Ford's router, and had to go up to check it out. And my wife happened to be in the IT room at the time, and so I was like, "Let's go check this out. I'll introduce you to Lita Ford. It'd be cool." We get in the elevator, and we hear, "Hold the elevator." So I reach out, held the elevator, and Rene Auberjonois and his agent get into the elevator, and my lovely wife proceeds to, say, "Hey, wow, it's so great to see you. My husband has been so excited to meet you." To which I responded, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." I literally could not form a word. I have met Sean Astin. I have met so many amazing people in working for Comic-Cons, and every one of them have been just super cool. Stuck in an elevator with Renee Auberjonois is the only time I have ever been tongue-tied, starstruck, ever.
Nice.
He was Clayton. He's Odo. I mean, just so many things growing up. And I loved every single character he created. Even if I hated what he was in, his character was amazing. And just yeah,
I bet you there was some appreciation for that.
I'm sure there was.
I'm curious, was he getting primarily attention there at the at Pensacon for his Star Trek character?
He was.
Or for
Certainly,
fantasy?
it's
He was.
a
Yeah.
Yeah.
sci-fi.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
there was definitely
con.
there was
It's a
definitely a
big con.
sci-fi. It was sci-fi heavy,
Yeah.
but yes. Most of his people were asking questions about Odo. All right, and to my
I'll just add one more show from the 70s that I completely forgot.
don't wait till I'm done
Oh, I'm
in
sorry, I
case
thought-
it's on my list.
Okay, I thought you said, okay, moving on. I thought you were.
I have one
moving
more.
on. Okay, go ahead.
I have 20 more.
Which is Space 1999.
Dun, dun, dun.
What?
Yes.
Space 1999.
This was such a big show. They had toys for it.
You can still buy them.
Yes.
How many seasons did it actually run, though?
Like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
3.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was a big deal at the time.
but it was an amazing show.
The special effects.
If you guys haven't watched it, you guys are stupid. I'm just calling it.
Tell
I'm
us
just
how
calling it. I mean, you
Hey,
know.
Michael's not here.
Hey, I'm just saying. The other person who remembers the show has a doctorate. So that means if you don't remember it, you're stupid.
Martin Landau was in it. They
Yeah.
were good. They were good.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, Barbara Bain was in it. It was very.
It was-
They were
it was-
it had
excellent
very
actors.
similar costumes and sets to Buck Rogers, though, didn't it?
It was
That
a little.
disco era, like
It was.
yeah. Oh well, yeah.
after work.
But it was
Yeah.
a wee bit more
Studio
realistic.
54 of outer space.
Yeah,
and, you know,
yeah, and Star Trek the motion picture. Yeah. Same. Yeah. We come on. When we're done with this, we're going to go do a bunch of coke and dance with our fingers pointing up
There you
to
go.
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
And just quick throwback. So I mentioned Martin Landau. Most people know Martin Landau. I don't know how many people remember Barbara Bain, but Bain and Landau were both in Mission Impossible together, which was also kind of a neat thing, I think.
And because I'm the
Sci-fi guy.
no.
Well, I know many things, but I'm not sure what you're thinking right now.
Maybe he shouldn't be a doctor.
Maybe you're all hurt as don't you think?
Florida State. Maybe you should be rethinking.
Can we recall that degree?
I'm gonna need the name of the guy who signed off on that.
Is that your list?
No, yeah, that is my list.
Okay.
What are we at?
have-
What are we at
I-
on
I-
Got
time?
overlooked.
Yes.
What are we at on
As to
time?
why.
No, you can say it out loud.
51 minutes.
All right. So if it's shorter than that, when you hear him say 51 minutes, you know I had to cut some stuff out, but it's actually been pretty good tonight, so I don't think I'm going to have to cut much.
Woo.
All right.
I'll say the one show I forgot to mention, Wonder Woman.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, the reason why I still have a thing for
Linda
Dana
Carter.
Linda Carter or just any big-breasted brunette with
Woman in
blue
knee-high
eyes. Yeah. You know, I'm like, okay, hell.
There we go.
PBZ?
I've got one that one of those rare TV shows is actually better than the film that it's based on. The Odd Couple.
Oh,
I think the
interesting.
series because
Was
of
that in the
Tony
70s?
Randall. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony Randall is.
Oh, no, the series was way better
Yeah.
than the movie.
Yeah, that one is amazing. And if you have watched Frasier, you want to see where Niles Crane comes from. It's Tony Randall
Yeah,
as
100%.
Felix Unger.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Well done. No, in fact, it started in 1970.
Okay.
Yeah.
Total
What, 6
70s.
seasons?
Yeah. Yeah, depending on how you count it, five or six. I'm not seeing it yet. It goes from 70 to 75, so
Back in the 90s, I
So
watched
5.
all of them in a row.
I think it's 5. But nonetheless, it was an excellent show.
4, so that's 6.
This is mentioning one, but it's actually mentioning a series
Okay.
of TV shows that we probably all watched in the
You're not saying
70s.
Doctor Who again, right?
No. the NBC Sunday Mystery Movie and the NBC Wednesday Mystery Movie.
Yep. Where we all got to meet the Hardy Boys and
No.
long
Macmillan and
Columbo.
wife.
Oh.
Columbo, McLeod, and I mean there were a bunch, but
There's one with Richard Boone.
Nobody mentioned Heart to Heart.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought that was.
I thought it was 80s.
Was it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Check it out. But yeah, there was one with Richard Boone. But then there was but McLeod
was
was
that McCoy?
maybe it might
No.
be the real McCoy, something like that. Because McLeod was based on Coogan's Bluff, the Clint Eastwood movie.
Right, and that was Dennis
Weaver.
Weaver.
Boom.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. And I mean, but that was, it was kind of like there were certain ones you liked more than others, and it came on Sunday night, and unless you subscribed to TV Guide for all 3 channels,
Which you did.
yeah,
So you
I mean,
gotta
we
cover
did for a while, but can't hide money, I guess. But you didn't necessarily know which show was going to come on that night. It might be McLeod. It might be Macmillan and wife. It might be, I think, Columbo. I think Columbo was part of it.
It was.
And maybe even Quincy at one time, but I don't think so.
No, Quincy.
No, I don't think
Quincy was
so.
always
Quincy was
too
like a
cool.
Saturday night type, yeah. And but yeah, I mean it was Macmillan. He was the police commissioner, right? And was his wife?
She's a wife.
No,
Like
was
a good
she one of
70s
the
woman.
Charlie's Angel? Was that
Yeah.
Kate
His wife
Jackson,
was
Jacqueline
yes.
Smith?
I don't think it was.
It was.
Kate Jackson.
It was one of those.
I thought it was.
It was. So the Richard Boone one was Heck Ramsey. That's the name of that one. There was one called McCoy, and that was Tony Curtis, which was on relatively briefly.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Macmillan and wife. Who was the wife?
Susan St. James, right?
Oh yeah.
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 Susan St. James.
Like from the Tony Rome pictures.
Yeah,
and
and
she,
Sinatra.
No, I mean, and she was pretty, and she had that great
Oh,
raspy
that was Jill
voice.
St. John. Sorry.
Jill St. Yeah, no, there's a lot of saints running around.
yeah. But I mean, those I like those shows, and did anybody mention Battlestar Galactica?
Yes.
I may have been
Ferg did.
fixing a drink.
Ferg did.
I was fixing a drink.
Yeah, 'cause-
And
Wait,
that-
you drink?
Well, only on days ending in Y.
Oh.
But the reason I watched Buck Rogers was there was one reason and one reason only.
yeah, you were.
Yeah, we already mentioned that too.
Aaron Gray.
Tweaky.
Big.
Dr. What was that thing he carried on
Yeah,
his chest?
Dr. Nostrand or
Dr.
Nostrus or something.
I don't know, but he was the computer.
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was really poor production quality.
It was great for the 70s TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
And by the way, Banachek was also part of that
okay.
that NBC industry thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
those
we
were
have,
excellent.
was Cannon 70s?
Yeah.
Cannon was
Cannon was
70s.
'70s.
Cannon?
Cannon.
Yeah.
Was
Frank
Jake and the
Cannon.
Fat Man?
No,
Cannon?
that was
Or
well,
that
that was-
80s?
Yes, but that was
Yeah.
Right, but that was
William-
80s.
William
Well,
Conrad.
William Conrad. Yeah, I always mix up my James and my Roberts
Yeah.
and my Williams.
He was
Yeah.
a big breather.
Yeah,
It was
but
a big
that, but
breather.
that was the 80s.
No, Cannon was 70s.
Right,
Barnaby Jones was 70s.
right. But Jake and the Fat Man was
Batman
80s.
was 80s. Yeah.
Mannix.
Mannix was late 60s into the early 70s.
So I know somebody mentioned Chips, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody mention Starsky and Hutch?
Yes.
Okay. I must have blacked
Wow,
out.
you were not
I
paying
blacked
attention
out.
at all.
Yeah.
Whatever, you were just
My dog
busy.
was barking at something out front. I was making sure your cars weren't being broken into.
You were busy staring at Paul with his eyes closed as he was talking about Starsky's and Hutch. You you're like, his eyes are
It's
closed.
easy to get
David's
lost
soul
in
was
his
so
eyes.
Especially when they're closed.
Yeah, what was that? What was that song David Soul had?
Oh my god.
Don't give up on us,
Oh yeah.
baby. Oh my God. Woof.
So where are we going with
It's
this now?
it's so bad. I almost
Larry?
carried the tune just. now.
All right. So we're gonna. We've got a few minutes left, so we're gonna go with favorite Love Boat character.
Oh
God.
yeah. Now guest star or recurring character?
Either.
All right.
Oh boy.
Either.
I don't have me go first because I keep ruining it for you.
Oh no, you're going first.
Isaac.
Okay.
All right. You ruined it.
That's your.
I mean, I have a close second.
Well, this guy was he made guest appearances in a ton of shows, including cartoons. But I'm gonna say, why am I blanking on his name right now? I just had it.
I don't know, but it's your turn, so figure it out.
No, he wasn't a regular.
Oh.
Older guy.
Comic guy was in Mad World. He's goofy.
Are you talking about Dom DeLuise?
No.
He looks kind of funny. He talks funny.
Well, he does all kinds of weird.
Buddy
Robin
Hackett.
Williams is a total ripoff.
Oh, Jonathan Winters.
Winters, that's
Okay.
it. Jonathan Winters. Any
That-
show
that-
that he
that-
showed up on, like
that's-
Fantasy Island or whatever.
Well,
like,
they were on the
Robin
same
Williams-
show.
That's Robin
Mork and
Williams'
Mindy.
son.
That's a whole, yeah. It's mirth.
No one.
No,
mentioned
Mork and Mindy.
Mindy. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jonathan Winters
We
pretty much
failed.
steals everything. I think he's a jumping the shark category. When they put Jonathan Winters in an episode, they're trying to keep it
For
from being
God's
canceled.
sakes, how can we save the show?
All right.
Well, obviously Isaac's gone, so.
Isaac's not gone.
I know it's
You
gonna
can
be
still
Isaac
say
because
Isaac.
I mean, I don't know, like
Because you have to go,
I grew up to be a bartender.
okay, that's true.
Oh,
That is 100% true. All right. We're going to let you have it.
All right, then I can only pick one. I can't wait for the camera so everybody can see these looks. So, I mean, he was in a bunch of stuff, but probably my favorite, I know what you're going to say, my favorite Love Boat episode, it was when John Ritter was a guest.
Oh, God.
Oh.
And he was, in order to get on the boat, he pretended to be a woman. And he was looking for his girlfriend, and then the woman he's staying with broke up with her boyfriend, and he's falling in love with her while he's a woman. And eventually they figure it out, and she doesn't care, and it's actually really well done.
And they became lesbians.
Wasn't
Right.
Buddies meets Tootsie.
pretty well.
No, it was yeah, Bosom Buddies meets Three's Company.
Yeah, there you go. But it was very well
Again,
done.
the episode would end in the first 20 seconds if John Ritter would just explain what's going
Oh,
on.
that's why I can't
That's
watch
every
sitcoms. I
every
can't watch 'em.
sitcom.
Yeah.
And today it's even worse because the premise is so
Horrible.
just so easy.
I really
Literally.
don't like, yeah.
You could say, oh, by the way, I forgot to do that. And first of all, no one would get mad. There would be no repercussions whatsoever.
Right.
But we get 30 minutes of dealing with the fallout of you forgetting that thing because you won't just say, I forgot that thing.
Agreed.
Or, honey,
Stupid.
I don't like the color of the paint on the wall in the bedroom. Can we think about maybe redoing it?
Well, you can't say that because then you'll end up on the couch if you're in a sitcom.
Yeah, you got to pick another example.
Right,
Apparently,
and then someone
Did
else
we?
comes home.
No. If you're in a
with the lights
sitcom,
on, and
that's-
tries to sleep on the couch, and then they lie down on top of you, and then someone else walks out of the room and sees you two together, and they're like, "What's going on? How scandalous!"
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
just verifying.
Obvious.
Curly and Mrs. Roper.
Yeah, obviously,
Just
you guys
verifying.
don't know what you're doing because you're still wearing clothes.
Right. Just verifying. We mentioned MASH, correct?
Mm-mm.
No.
MASH was pretty remarkable, and so was Happy Days, actually.
Never heard of MASH.
I
Tell me
understand.
more about it. I remember watching the final episode of MASH.
Everybody
the entire
watched
family,
the
the
final
entire
episode
family
of
got
MASH.
together, and that was
That show actually lasted almost 4 times longer than the actual war did.
Yep.
It was pretty impressive.
No, it was.
I mean, the Jeep started breaking down.
It was a great. No, they didn't. Jeeps don't break. It was a great show. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make things easy on myself this week, since I have no air conditioning. By the way, if anyone wants to donate,
An air conditioner?
$12,000 for a new air conditioner,
Or $1 billion for a new air conditioner.
well, you can just mention on our Facebook account that you want to donate it, and I'll set you up. But we're gonna have a quick.
Wait, you didn't give us your favorite Love Boat character.
You didn't. We all really.
It's
Sorry.
Captain Steubing, isn't it?
No, it's Gopher.
That's the third time for that look.
It's Gopher. Gopher's
course it
the
is.
greatest character on the show.
Gopher is the Gilligan of the crew. He creates all these stupid situations that they have to
What was
get out of.
Which is why
It's like-
the show got to last an hour.
Captain
Gilligan's
Steubing?
Island-
No.
Julie, the
crazy.
cruise director.
Julie?
Julie. Yeah,
First
the
episode.
cruise.
And I forgot what the daughter's name that they introduced later.
She was the cutest.
I don't know. Gopher was kind of cute.
Well,
Yeah, you would say that.
Those little shorts.
but I will just point out, Bill, all of us were going to say Gopher or all of us were going to say Isaac.
I said I
Until
wouldn't
you
go
said it.
first.
But I'm just saying, we were all going to say it. So,
Mom.
By the
Okay.
way, do you know what Hervé Villachet's favorite M&Ms are?
The plane.
Plain.
Very nice. Very nice.
all right, guys. Well, on that, let's go around and have everyone say good night because we got a couple minutes. We're going to start with UPC
Good night, Gracie.
and Ferg
Good night.
and Bill
Almighty Isis. Good night.
and Dr. Paul
Bitty, 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 bitty. That's all, folks.
and I guess we're going to finish up with me. Good night, everyone. Thank you for listening to The Men Are Talking.
Look, I'm a little drunk, okay?